Hi, Nick Vanderkar here, selling the main line with Long & Foster Real Estate. Today I am meeting with John Hutchinson from Rose Valley Restorations, tucked away on a small alley in Westchester. I think you'll be interested in what he has to say.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the proprietor of Rose Valley Restorations. We're here in Mechanics Alley in downtown Westchester.
So John, you've been an exhibitor at the Mainline Antique Show for a few years now.
Yep.
And you have sort of two parts to your business. Obviously Rose Valley Restoration, you're a restorer.
Correct.
And obviously woodwork and leather. And what else do you do?
Well, primarily we restore antique furniture, fine art, decorative arts, anything made out of wood. So we do also work with local contractors, museums, private collectors, dealers. We do everything from the Renaissance through Art Deco, although even now we're doing a little bit more mid-century modern, as that is, as you know, kind of a hot market. But we do it all: structure, carving, inlay, gilding, color work, paint work, conservation, restoration, anything involved with wood we do.
So how did you get into doing this?
It's a bit serendipitous. I fell into it. I grew up in a middle-class household, but I was sent to blue collar at age of 14. I did every single trade with every uncle in Delaware County. But I had an opportunity to go to Italy when I was at Hutchinson College, and when I graduated I went back, and I found an academy that was a good mix of using my hands and the academics of art, and I really loved that. But I didn't have the money for the four-year program, so I found a master, and I ended up staying with my master for an additional 3 years.
Okay, explain that. What's a master?
So my master was a master finisher. You know, over there still is the guild system, and I was accepted into the guild system as an apprentice. And over there things are much more compartmentalized. So for example, if a piece of furniture came into the alley where we worked, the guy at the top of the hill would do the construction, the next guy would do the veneer, and then the third guy would be my master, who would do the color and the finish. And
okay.
He would do anything from, mostly Renaissance furniture, but it was mostly for pieces for high-end dealers.
Okay.
And so it was quite an education.
And then you came back here, and
Correct.
So when did you set up Rose Valley Restoration?
Well, I came back here and I started in my mom's greenhouse. So she was really pleased when I got out of the living room and I got our first place in Westchester almost 15 years ago.
Okay.
And then the difference between working here in the States and in Europe is that here we have to do everything. So that's why I run at the mouth of everything we do, because we have to do everything. We don't have so many different, diverse little shops, maybe back in the day, but not so much anymore. I mean, it used to be, even here in America, you would have a title of a master finisher, which is what I consider myself. But that doesn't make sense in a coffee conversation.
Right.
And in fact, one thing, most people to this day call us cabinet builders, but I don't know how to build a cabinet. I hire a guy down the street to build the cabinets. But you know, even the term restorer is almost an antiquated term at this point.
Right, right. But, so you also deal.
Yes.
And you concentrate primarily on American furniture?
Correct. Mostly 18th century, 19th century American furniture and decorative arts and paintings and some mirrors, but you know, you can't be a specialist in everything. So I really focus on the mid-Atlantic states in terms of furniture, and really heavy on Chester County.
Okay.
Just because unlike dealers, I actually get to see as much or more furniture than most, because it's coming through the shop at a prodigious rate. So
right.
I have a really good expertise and knowledge on period, Chippendale, Hepplewhite, you know, in general, the period furniture.
Okay. And do you have a favorite piece that you handled over the years that you would say, oh, that was the...
I've been asked this question before, and the very best pieces we've ever worked on, I can't tell you about. Because they was, you know, it was... but yeah, we really enjoy working on... I like working on really, really old things. Like we just did 15th century Spanish doors for a house down in the main line.
Wow.
We have a really special desk downstairs. I like working on unusual things. I think that's the best part of this business, is that every day you're faced with a new set of challenges and a new piece of furniture. And yeah, some things are mundane, like taking apart a chair and putting it back together, but that's bread and butter. But doing complicated inlays. And my favorite thing is certainly doing a full French polish, because that's a dying art, and Bill and I are pretty much the only ones in the area that know how to do it.
And Bill is your
He's
shop
our main
manager,
guy,
right?
and
Yep.
he studied in Copenhagen and in Hamburg, so
Okay.
he's very well trained in the European manner of restoration.
Okay. And we were chatting just before we were filming. What would be your advice to younger buyers, people just starting out with a new mainline home? Should they go to Restoration Hardware and buy furniture, or should they have a look around and see what they can find? And why?
Well, a couple things. My advice to young people is to, similar to a mechanic or a lawyer, is find somebody you trust, whether that's a dealer or a restorer. And the other thing is not to be afraid of auction houses. I think people are really intimidated unless they're brought up with it as a kid. Like, I love auction houses. I love the thrill of the hunt and the competition. But, for a lot of people that is intimidating. So develop a relationship with somebody like me or a trusted friend that likes them, and right now you cannot beat the prices at auction houses in terms of buying really good furniture at a great value. And it might need a little bit of work, but Tim and I are still here, and that's how we can tune it up at a minimum price and get it back into your house, and you have a beautiful piece of furniture that will last generations to come. And you're really, in most cases, not paying anything more than if you were buying it new.
Right. And the other nice thing about that is, as we were saying, is that it's recycled, it's green because these things were already manufactured. You're not cutting new wood and all of those things, which...
Well, I think it was Skip Chalfont's son, Scott Chalfont, about 7 or 8 years ago, started promoting the green and antiques, recycle for antiques theme, and I wish we'd catch on more, because it's true. It really is true. I mean,
Right.
Even the idea of restoration, I mean, we're conserving the piece versus throwing it away and buying another piece.
Right.
I think there's, and especially with wood, it's an inherently friendly material, and it always has a story, and I'd love to know the stories of all the tables that we've worked on and how many meals have been there, and what did Uncle Sid say 100 years ago. I think there's a lot to that, the legacy of the family and the piece of furniture going through the family and keeping it.
So that's actually raises a good question. I was just thinking as you were saying that. So when you're restoring a piece and you open things up and open drawers up, does a story ever open itself up as you're looking at the piece, that you suddenly go, oh, this is interesting?
Absolutely.
And have you got an example?
I got a couple good ones. Well, today we found some love letters, and of course, they were from 1900s or something like that. So we put them in a clear plastic envelope and just tuck it right back in.
Cool.
But the best one was my master. We were working on a desk in Italy, and he found a secret compartment, and he found $400 of war bonds.
Okay.
That are Marshall Plan war bonds.
Wow.
That you didn't have to have a signature for.
Cash.
Bearer bonds.
Bearer bonds.
Bearer bonds.
Yeah.
And we had a really nice dinner. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that sounds great. And you'll be at Mainline Antique Show this year?
Yes, looking forward to it. Bringing some treasures.
Okay, and we look forward to seeing those.
Great. Thank you, Nick, very much.